But I thought the Army, they gave me an opportunity to have the exact MOS that I wanted, and I could go to Germany. I went to Germany. I was in Hanau with 4th the 82nd Field Artillery, Charlie Battery, 3rd AD, and you know, I served 2 years active duty, then 6 years inactive, ready reserve, and was discharged honorably.
Germany?
I was stationed in Germany, and then on 26 December 90, I deployed to Dhahran, Saudi Arabia for Operation Desert Shield, and then eventually we moved to King Khalad's military city, and then from there we deployed out into the border of Kuwait and Iraq, and you know, I believe it was, I want to say 22 February 91, we started a road march into Iraq, got by Objective Collins, you know, breached the berm, and then for about 36 hours we just sent artillery downrange and you know, showed that we were mission capable and did the job, and got rid of the Republican Guard that was, you know, 2,000 meters downrange in front of us relatively quickly without any incident. In July and August of 1990, we had heard that Iraq had invaded Kuwait. So it started to creep into our mindset that potentially one day, you know, we might have to deal with that contingency. And we were initially scheduled just to be in Grafenwehr for the FTX against Op 4. But then we got sent to Hohenfels for more dry fire exercises against Op 4. And these Op 4 were wearing desert fatigues. So then it started to become clear that I think, you know, that we were going to start shifting our mission mindset and capabilities towards potentially dealing with that contingency, and eventually we did. There are some guys that I have kept in contact with, and I don't think there's anything quite like that when you're in combat and you're reacting how you're trained, and it's for real, and then you get to see that all the cadre of NCOs and officers that taught you through basic and AIT, and you know, even when you got to your regular Army duty station, all the exercises and all the TRADOC and all the stuff that we went through, it paid high dividends because we knew what we were doing, and we got to utilize it and use it, and you know, come out on with the upper hand.
Yeah, and like when you're downrange, you kind of rely on your brother at all?
Everybody, it's a team. There is camaraderie, there is close ranks, esprit de corps, and everybody's relying on each other. I've never quite experienced such a close-knit, deep feeling of brotherhood or camaraderie. It's just, I don't think words can quite quantify what it's all worth. It's pretty deep, you know.
Serve again?
Very much so. And it's a semi-military mindset in fire departments too, because there's rank structure and there's chain of command and things of that nature. So I could assimilate into that really quickly and knew the drill right from the outset when I went to, you know, drill school and the fire academy, and I knew how to conduct myself, and I knew how to, you know, listen to the cadre of fire instructors, and I did well. I did well. Well, what had happened was in 2002, I formed Street Dogs with Johnny Rio, our bass player, and we just wanted to have a band. It was sort of like poker night, you know what I mean? Hang out, play some music. Maybe we'll do a show locally. No big deal. We just, you know, we wanted to have a good time and play some songs. But what had happened was it took on a life of its own, and it took us. And, you know, there were recording contracts and all sorts of offers and things of that nature. And eventually it came to a point for me and him and the other guys in the group in September 2004, we had to, like, you know, make a decision. Do we want to go full-time with music, or do we just want to stick part-time? And, you know, we went full-time because we just wanted to pursue the opportunity and write the best songs we could and do the best we could. And from that moment until today, we have a deep sense and feeling of gratitude to be able to do it, to be able to play our best for people who come to our concerts, buy our records, get our t-shirts. We go all out and give 100%, and at all shows we make sure that we interface with our fans too, and we're not like hiding out on some big bus. You know, we shake their hands, we thank them for their time and their money, because without them we're nothing.
Mates
Absolutely.
in the military?
It's very, very similar, because you go through so much, and there's so much blood, sweat, and tears, and there's so much hard work, and there's so many difficulties that most people who aren't inside of it couldn't quite realize or grasp. And that is similar within the military as well. You go through a lot, you're together a lot, and you know that makes a very deep bond, like a lifelong bond, you know, like all together we're one.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's similarities for sure. I think what it does is it gives you a confident, calm, measured, thoughtful mindset in life. When things get stressful or difficult, you don't shrivel up and hide in a corner and not contend with things and say, world, go away. I think from being downrange, from being in the fire department, from, you know, having that mindset that you get in basic and AIT and regular Army or the fire academy or on the fire service, it stays with you. It's unshakable. It'll never leave your system. And it helps you in life to contend with a myriad of issues, you know what I mean? Be them personal, be them work-related. It just helps you a lot. And I'm super, super grateful for my time in the military, and am profoundly and deeply proud of it, and would do it again in a heartbeat. You know, and I think all men and women coming out of high school are seeking that. And when I was in boot camp, and we're deep into it, and we're about to cross the bridge into AIT, there was a feeling of belonging to something and a sense of brotherhood that was just very, very powerful. And you know, you were broken down and then built back up, and that's amazing. It sticks with me. I recall it quite often in my life, as I think most service members do, you know? I'd say we definitely, from the beginning of our band and all the way up until now, you know, support, respect, and admire, you know, the men and women of the armed services of the United States of America. And that's always been our stance, and that's always been our feeling. And we've also tried to put our money where our mouth is, because a lot of bands will say things. You know what I mean? But that doesn't amount, like, talk doesn't amount to much. We have a song, The War After the War, that's you know, the kind of that speaks to the PTSD issue a little bit. And all the proceeds from that song go to Homes for Our Troops, which is a charitable organization that helps veterans who have been injured, you know, realize the dream of having a home. So to us, it's important not only to speak of it, but to act it. Let your actions be in league with your words. So we try to help out there, and there's been various other things. I remember the Massachusetts, Iraqi, and Afghanistan Fallen Heroes Foundation. We did a benefit concert for them 2 years ago in Boston and gave all the money to them. They're trying to build a monument up at the State House in Massachusetts to recognize, you know, members in the fire service or public safety, you know, who have fallen and are from Massachusetts. So that's another instance of us just, you know, trying to live our message and be legitimate and be real. I just want to express my gratitude to them, because I understand the depth, the gravity, complexity, and of service. You know what I mean? And I get it. You know, and I just want to say thank you. You know, I think that's really important for people to say thank you.
Yeah.
You know, and anytime I've done that, or anytime someone's done that to me, it's just you know, like a respectful acknowledgement. You know, thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, and then guys who've served, like we know, we get it. It's unspoken. You know what I mean? It's like thank you. We know what it means. You know.